Surrounded by an angry group of orcas, a solitary white shark found itself on the brink of death. What happened next was about to swiftly turn its fate around and steer a kind-hearted man with a golden heart onto a path he could never have imagined. Observing from a tourist boat, Matt Waller gazed at the Neptune Islands in South Australia. He could scarcely believe what was unfolding before his eyes. While he had been observing a shark for about 10 minutes, he suddenly noticed dark silhouettes forming into a semicircle. Usually sharks are the top predators of their environment, but this time it was different. A group of orcas revealed their far more aggressive nature than the shark could ever have anticipated. They attacked it one after another. In shock, the shark realized it had fallen into a trap. Desperately, it tried to escape and change direction by flicking its fin, but it was in vain. The orcas pursued its every move, slowly suffocating it and forcing it into a zigzag pattern that thwarted any escape route. It didn't matter if it swam faster or slower, it was relentlessly pushed away from any possible way out. The orcas acted with skilled teamwork, appearing as a perfect unit. This attack had the potential to profoundly alter the ecological balance in this area. Matt had never witnessed such behavior in orcas before, and he felt that something big and significant was unfolding here. Matt Waller was much more than just an average tourist. He was a man with a deep understanding of the underwater world and a protector of the shark population. For many years, he operated a shark cage, allowing brave adventurers to descend and experience the dangerous predators up close. He entrusted his life to them and maintained balance by feeding and caring for the sharks at the right times. Many of the local sharks had come to know him, and his dedication was reciprocated with affection. The past 3 days had been unusually shark-free. Contrary to his customers' expectations, shark encounters on the boat had become scarce. This had turned the season into a disappointment. But it wasn't just that. Shark sightings had decreased throughout the entire season, greatly affecting his 30-year-old business. Perhaps this was the reason why a majestic shark found itself encircled and pursued by a group of orcas. And it wasn't just any shark, it was a great white shark, the most prominent predator in these waters. It was by no means an easy prey. In recent years, it had carried out several attacks on humans, prompting the government to take drastic measures. However, Matt knew that the appearance of these marine creatures often deceived. Behind the serrated teeth capable of effortlessly tearing apart anything lay a complex being. They weren't indiscriminate killing machines, but rather creatures fighting, like all others, to survive in this harsh environment. Through his dives, Matt had formed a real connection with sharks, understanding their nature much better than most people. Yet orcas remained mysterious and dangerous to him, especially when they set their sights on a target. With these thoughts in mind, Matt observed the scene from his boat. His customers were equally captivated by the unexpected show, following his gaze as they waited on the vessel. Hours passed, and the image of the circling orcas slowly faded on the horizon. This was their first encounter with the majestic beings roaming the waters of South Australia, but no one had anticipated it to become so brutal. Some chose to avert their gaze, unable to witness the horror and the terrors of the inevitable. They implored Matt to take them back to the shore. After putting in so much effort to win these customers, he knew their desires couldn't be ignored without his business suffering. Matt found himself in a conflict between his business and his instinct. Yet he couldn't shake off the feeling that he should do something, and so he took action. It was a complete disaster, and undoubtedly this would spell the end of Matt's shark diving business. At the helm stood Matt, alongside Gina Dickinson, a marine biologist who worked in the area and often accompanied him on research trips. In that moment, they shared a silence of mourning, both stunned by what had occurred. In an odd way, this was the pinnacle of Dickinson's long career, a rare event she had only read about before. She intended to write an article about her observations, which would grant her considerable credibility in the field of marine biology, in addition to her personal sense of achievement. Yet she knew Matt would be devastated. He had built a close relationship with these sharks over decades and had always been a pioneer in environmental matters. Matt had even launched a campaign to persuade the fish and chip shops in the area to refrain from using shark meat in their products. His passion extended far beyond his livelihood, but they both knew the blow this meant for his business. Shark sightings had been challenging to come by before, and this recent incident would drive his company into bankruptcy. He felt as if his life's work was collapsing, much like the shark surrounded by difficulties and without an escape. Upon returning to the coast, tourists reacted with a mix of horror and ecstasy, as this experience was undoubtedly unique whether they desired it or not. Shark sightings remained scarce, and reviews of Matt's company hung in uncertainty. For the next 3 weeks, there were no expected shark sightings. local fishermen and boat operators couldn't spot a single shark anymore. As an honest businessman, Matt revealed to his customers that the chance to see sharks was extremely low. Most tourists consequently opted out. The boat rental fee was due, but Matt was in debt. The business he had built over decades was now an empty shell. A job offer seemed to be the only option. Then he received a phone call. Anticipating a debt collector, Matt picked up the receiver, expecting hostility. Yet on the other end of the line, a calm, professional voice spoke. Identifying themselves as a member of a group called SCA, they explained they had a job offer for Matt, recognizing his years of experience and work with sharks as invaluable. Matt tried to grasp the nature of this job. It turned out to be from the organization Shark Protection Australia. They wanted to hire Matt full-time. The recommendation came from his teammate Gina Dickinson, who had highlighted his masterful handling of sharks. It seemed only logical that they saw him as a leading candidate for the open position. Matt was thrilled and accepted the position. Though he never finished high school, he couldn't have imagined working with scientists one day. Yet he possessed first-hand knowledge none of them had. Reflecting on it, this progression felt only natural. Now he could dedicate all his time to protecting the shark population and make up for what he couldn't save on that fateful day in the sea. What an incredible ending!